来たか 1, 2, 3, 4 Yes!
Puni players, Robbett here. One of the best new yokai in the Shadowside Scramble is Fukuro, a Shady SS-rank Score Booster. You get him from the impossible stage, and it's well named. Without the exclusive yokai, he can feel, well, impossible. Let's figure out how to beat him anyhow. Fukuro lives in a hidden stage that's opened up after beating one of the two bosses during the Scramble battle. He's tribe restricted to Tough, Charming, Heartful, and Enma. It's a no-continue stage and he is super tough, 75,000 hit points and 890 damage every 3 seconds. Tough. If you're lucky enough with the Shadowside Gacha, you might get 00 Robanyan. He's got a bonus that dramatically lowers Fukuro's damage to less than half. If you're really lucky, you've got Omatsu from the Gacha. She's got a big bonus to damage and a small bonus to defense. The first thing to do is look at the available yokai and see if we can pick out some that'll be good for beating Fukuro. In Charming, we have the SS-rank Extreme Blizzaria, Bon Baraya, Santa Jibanyan, Hello Kitty SS, and a bunch of others. For now, forget about boosters, we'll talk about that in a second. Single attackers are going to be great, but they won't do much damage. Heartful and Charming are the two tribes that are strong against Shady. Heartful has a full page less of SS ranks in the medallion, but still some good ones. Fukurokuju was always a favorite, although there are so many slashers now. Chakarina and Happy Are Awoken, and a ton of boosters. Of course, Omatsu is in there too. In Tough, we've got the SSS rank Dragon Knight Chub, the Hammering Daiko Kuten, Morigami Rex, and more. In Enma, well, it's Enma. They're all attackers, and most of them are SSS rank. What is there to say? The tribe has no boosters, and it's just a question of what type of attack you want to do. Outside of attacking, we need to make sure we stay alive, so another consideration is how many hit points your team has. Bon Baraya has 999, so does Baton Q, but we can't use Eri. Amaterasu is up there, so is Daddy Eyeball, and even Anuhori Magozu, the Mole Man, if you're just using him for hit points. Then there's Shadowside Bore Bonsho. He's in the point shop, and while he's 3,000 points, I'm going to be blunt. It's called the impossible stage for a reason. As a beginner, you're not going to magically beat it. You're going to need SS ranks, you're going to need them to be highest ultimate level, and you're going to have to be able to earn some Y points. We can do it without him, but he's the single easiest way to gain an advantage against Fukuro, because he makes the counterattack damage almost nothing. Alright, let's review the footage from the Yo-kai Watch Shadowside video and my very first battle against Fukuro. I brought along 3 boosters, Chakarina to help with befriending, and Omatsu. One thing you may not have noticed here, I get really lucky in that there's no scramble ball until I'm about to get into Fever. I managed to get into Fever relatively fast, and I've got 1,479 hit points left. The first thing I do is launch Neko Nisei, a booster, and that's a problem. Not only does Fukuro counterattack for almost 800 damage, but he instantly invalidates the boost. I tried it again with Betty-san, but no luck, same outcome. I launch Omatsu, but it's too late, I'm out of hit points. We learned a few things here. The counterattack is killer, you need to have plenty of hit points going into your attacks. Boosters are basically worthless unless you get lucky. It didn't happen to me there, but every once in a while you can slip a booster past him and he won't counterattack. Now, if you do have Omatsu, you basically don't need to worry about anything else unless you don't have soul secrets to use on her. I'm not sure exactly at what level, but somewhere around Soultimate level 4 or 5 she can one-shot Fukuro within Fever. Outside of Fever, she can do it around Soultimate level 6 or 7. So if you have her, just use her. I mean, keep watching the video because it's awesome, but you've got this. So, let's start figuring out how to beat him without Umatsu. We'll get to the point where we don't need any event yokai, but for now I'm going to bring 00 Robanyan and Bure Bancho to make it easier on me. The focus is on the attackers, how much they do, and whether they're going to be good enough to beat him. Remember, he's got 75,000 hit points, so outside of the minor damage done getting their Soultimates up, it's going to be all about the attacking Soultimates. We're starting with Charming, and I've brought Prancing Yan, Bon Baraya, and Extreme Blizzaria. They're a single attacker, all popper, and pseudo tracer in that order. If you've got Extreme Blizzaria's skill at a high level, she's going to help out by making some bonus balls into snowballs, which will allow you to get her Soultimate up faster and probably get into Fever easier since there will be more of her to link. First up is Prancing Yan. She does around 6,000, not a great start. Next is Bon Baraya, and he's a little better, more than 12,000. Lastly, it's Extreme Blizzaria. She's somewhere around 20,000 without leveling up her G's ultimate. All told, that's 44,000 damage. We're short. Another Prancing Yan, and we're still way short. I don't think this crew's going to cut it. For fun, Bure Bancho does another 6,000. Double O Robanyan does over 7,000, and Bon Baraya brings it home. There's no way you'd last doing 6 Ultimates though. Let's try out Heartful. I've brought Chakarina, Sinbad, and Fukurokuju. Chakarina and Sinbad are both direct attackers. Fukurokuju was our breakout slasher from about a year ago. Fukurokuju's skill is that sometimes his Puni fall as Big Puni, which will be helpful for getting his ultimate up more quickly. Unfortunately, it's not showing their individual output in Fever, but the three of them combined for around 56,000 damage. Normally, you never want to use tracers outside of Fever, as you get far less damage output, but we've got another Fukurokuju available, and Fukuro's still standing, so let's do it. Almost 17,000 damage outside of Fever. Not bad. Time for the big boys, Enma Tribe. I've brought King Enma, Maka, King of the Underworld and Holder of Tongs, and the OG SS-rank Sun God Enma. They're all a little red, so they're not super fun to link up, but they're all great yokai. King Enma is a straight single attacker, Maka is an all-popper that gets stronger with each use of his ultimate, and Sun God is a tracer who also helps fill soul meters. Sun God's ability seems especially useful, as it'll be able to help us get the others up if we get into Fever early when we're pressed for time. Except that Fukuro's counterattack simply absorbs it. We're not able to trace at all. It still does around 9,000 damage, but that's just the base. All the rest from tracing, as well as the power to fill soul meters, is gone. Maka does a super solid 20,000 damage. Very nice. King Enma does 14,000. So even with Sun God's disappearing act, we've done quite a bit. Let's try Sun God again. Same result. Apparently the nature of a pure tracer, where all the damage is done at the end, can't survive the counterattack, but a slasher can. Okay, same team, but this time we'll use Darkness Enma instead of Sun God. Darkness Enma is available via the Crank, or previously from Budokai. I'd also mention that he gets a boost from the Ogre Watch, but you kinda need to defeat Fukuro to get that, since Fukuro gives you the watch bezel. I start with Darkness Enma, but ideally if you have others up, like I do with King Enma here, you'd use them first since slashers pop Puni and that might fill your soul meters a little. Then it's King Enma, and then it's Maka. Altogether it's 56,000 damage, which means Darkness Enma is doing around 20,000. Fukuro still has plenty of HP though, so it's just like with Heartful, we're going to use a slasher outside of Fever one more time. and it's 17,000 damage again. Looks like Darkness Enma and Fukurokuju are about equal in this case, given Heartful is tribe advantaged and Enma is neutral. Now for tough. I've brought Daiko Kuten, Morigami Rex, and Dragon Knight Chup. Daiko Kuten is a single attacker, but he has a chance of doing a critical hit for more damage. Morigami Rex is a slash tracer, and DK Chup is, well, also a slash tracer. For some reason, there are a ton of slash tracers to use against Fukuro. Dragon Knight Chup has the same special ability as Extreme Blazaria. Bonus balls have a chance of being his special form, which not only inflate but change Puni into more of DK Chup. That'll allow us to get his ultimate up easily and provide some quick link-ups. It's DK Chup first, and then Daiko Kuten. Together, they're 30,000 damage, and I don't actually have Morigami Rex up yet. Morigami manages 15,000 outside of Fever, and Daiko Kuten is almost ready again. That's another 12,000, but Fukuro's still ticking. The Heart Ball helps out, and it's a quick fill-up for DK Chup. Almost 15,000, and that's that. Alright, now we're ramping up the difficulty. I said we'd do this without Event Yokai, and we almost are. I still suggest that if you have the Yokai to make this battle a reality, you can get 3,000 wide points. Bore Bancho is worth it just to be able to get Fukuro and the Ogre Watch. We're into Fever, and I only have 572 hit points left. I launched King Enma, and now we have 401 hit points. It's going to be tight, but it's still much better than the 770 damage we would have taken during the counterattack without Bancho. Darkness Enma does a bunch of damage and takes us down to 230 hit points. Maka does a bunch more, and we're down to 59 hit points. We're only at 54,000 damage, so we need to do more. Realistically, we don't have the hit points, except that Banbaraya heals as part of his ultimate. I don't remember him doing that, but he seems to. Okay, so what about if you really don't want to use Bore Bancho? The answer is simple. Be fast. Really fast. Here I'm into Fever with only 1,328 hit points left. King Enma's ultimate use drops that to 469 immediately. Darkness Enma drops it down to 40. Why it was less I don't know, but we're skating on thin ice. We're at 38,000 damage, Fever is done, so it's time to try the Hail Mary with Maka. No dice, he's got a little bit left and we're DEAD dead. This time we're going in with 2,218 hit points. It sounds like so much more than the 1,328 from last time, but it's a single hit from Fukuro, which means I managed to get into Fever 3 or 4 seconds faster than last time. That means that Maka takes us down to 1,359 while doing about 16,000 damage. King Enma takes us down to 500 hit points and does another 16 or so thousand. Darkness Enma once again takes us down to 40 hit points. Wait, I get it. Dang it, I totally forgot. Banbaraya has Revival as part of his skill. We're actually dying because we're shy 400 hit points, but he's bringing us back with only 40 hit points left. That's fantastic, and Fukuro is toast. Of course, it doesn't always go quite to plan like that. Here we are again with 2,218 hit points. We're going to use Maka, then King Enma, and Darkness Enma. Either because of how quickly I launched their ultimates or because I simply got lucky, I was only counterattacked twice. However, we've only done 60,000 damage when Fever runs out this time. Fukuro immediately attacks as soon as Fever breaks and Banbaraya has to revive us again. All Popper pops all, and we're there. If you're successfully beating Fukuro and befriending him, you'll get to see this. Fukuro is the one and only Shady SS-rank Score Booster. His skill fills his soul meter sum when you enter Fever, and he gives a bunch of bonuses for the event, including wide points. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, or do it when Banbaraya revives you. For all the latest on Puni Puni, subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitter. Until the next video, good luck with Fukuro.